Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Timothy Brown, Treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation, and I am excited to have this webinar here in the month of February 2024, the month that we celebrate Black History. There's a lot of great history when it comes to our African American history, Black history, so rich, so many great leaders, so many people who paved the way. And tonight, I'm excited to talk about a great man who is leading in our National Optometric Association as the president. I'll introduce him later on to the show. He's going to talk with us as we talk about Black history, talk about the history of the NOA, and we also talk about his journey as a Black optometrist, starting in the National Optometric Student Association and moving forward after graduation into the National Optometric Association. Before I do, let me tell you a little bit about the National Optometric Foundation. We are the financial and supporting arm for the NOA, the National Optometric Association, and we are a nonprofit organization, and we try to support the NOA and the NOSA, the students who are currently in optometry school, those who may be even just thinking about going to optometry school as a career. We want to recruit minorities into the field of optometry. We want to support them financially with scholarships, want to support them by being there with them, for them to have a mentor, someone they can turn to, ask questions. We also try to support the community, our community. We do eye exams. We go to the National Optometric Association conventions where we help assist along with other team members. They are there to assist us along with our sponsors such as VSP. We're doing free eye exams for the community wherever the National Optometric Association convention is going to be. And this year, the convention is going to be in the city of brotherly love. That's right, Philadelphia, in the month of July. And we're excited to have that opportunity to be able to serve the community there as well. And we're asking all of the doctors out there to go ahead and get registered. All of the students, go ahead and get registered so you'll be ready to help us with our annual community event where we are serving the community eye exams, glasses, whatever souvenirs we may have there for the community as well. The National Optometric Foundation, as a nonprofit organization, we want you to know that we want to continue to do the great things that we're doing, supporting students, supporting our community, supporting those who are thinking about going to optometry school. So find out more about us. We have a website, www.nationaloptometricfoundation.com, that you can go on. We have photos on there. We have information about our foundation. You can also go on our Facebook page. We have our Facebook page, National Optometric Foundation. We have links there for some of the webinars that we've done in the past. We also have a Cash App if you would like to contribute and help us continue to do the great things that we're doing. We have a Cash App, $ Protecting the Vision. And we also have a YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, you can get videos there, share them with your family, friends, your church, your sorority, your fraternity, whatever your organization may be, so that they too can be educated. We are sharing free education with the public there. So my name is Dr. Timothy Brown, Treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation. I'm excited to talk with you today during the month of Black History, the month that we celebrate Black History, with having the president of the National Optometric Association. Yeah, you know, I feel like I moved up a level when I have the president of the NOA on one of my webinars. I feel good, and I know that he's going to share some great information. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Barnes, Dr. Frank Barnes Jr. He's an optometrist, and he's president of the National Optometric Association. Dr. Barnes graduated with his optometry degree in 1986 from the State University of New York College of Optometry, SUNY. After completing his internship training in low vision in 1985 from the Lighthouse in New York, he received the Feinblum Designs for Vision Award for Excellence in Low Vision. Dr. Barnes is a panel provider for the New Jersey Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Dr. Barnes received his bachelor degree in chemistry in 1982 from the College of Holy Cross. Dr. Barnes has served on the Montclair Health Advisory, the Head Start Health Advisory Board, the Montclair Township Master Plan Committee, and he is a past secretary of the Essex County Optometric Society. He's received several community service awards. He's received the Presidential Special Recognition Award from the New Jersey Society of Optometric Physicians. And Dr. Barnes and his wife, Dr. Carter, also received the Montclair Economic Development Corporation 2008 Business Award as well. Dr. Barnes has done great work. He's still doing great work, and I'm excited for him to share some of that work that he's doing within the community and our optometric family. So let me bring him on to the show. Dr. Frank Barnes Jr., welcome to our webinar, Protecting the Vision with National Optometric Foundation. I'm thrilled that we have the president of the NOA on the webinar. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I'm so glad to be here with you and spending some time to talk about my love of the NOA.
Yes.
Since 1983, I fell in love with the NOA, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad to be at the top now. The leader of the organization has done so much for me.
Wow. I'm just having that visual of you having such a rich history. Started as a student, 1983 as a student, to now 2024 president of the NOA. That's incredible. I get chills just thinking about it. You are, sir, Black history. That's amazing.
I go back to that when this is my first summer. When I entered SUNY in 1982. In '83, the school told me about NOA and said, "We'd like you to go to a convention." And that time, back in those days, there was federal funding to recruit minority students to healthcare. And so the school, NOA, had some funds, and so did the school. And the school said, let's use those funds to send Frank Barnes to the NOA convention in Houston, Texas in 1983. I went there, and it opened up my eyes. I was like, because I was the only African-American in my class at SUNY, so I always felt kind of alone. When time I stepped into the hotel at the NOA convention, Dr. Powell was the founder, one of the founders, and Dr. Howell, they're there standing, greeting you, ready to hug you. It was amazing. And you see all these strong African-American men, these Black men, they're just standing there greeting you, welcoming you. And then I see all these students come in that look like me from across the nation. And
yes.
It was a tremendous thing. And from day one to now, you always felt welcomed and you always felt loved there. And it was a tremendous feeling. And I remember when I got back to the school, I said, we didn't have an NOSA chapter, National Optometric Student Association. I said, we need to make one, and I want to make one now in 1983. And they said, well, there's only two of you here. There's one young lady. I said, we only need one.
Only need one.
Member, that's it. That's me. That's enough to get it started. Well,
right.
I was able to start the chapter, and I got another young lady ahead of me, Dr. Euphemia Huggins. She became our first president, and Dr. Tanya Carter, who's my wife, she became the second president. And that chapter still lives today. So it's a great feeling when I go back to the school and I see the students, and we say it's an NOSA reception, and it's an NOSA social with doctor and students meeting. I look back at that and say, look at this.
Yes, yes.
And so I'm just very, very excited about that.
Well, you should be. That is why I say you are Black history, because you didn't just go along with what was existing. You blazed a trail. You blazed a trail so that you can open up a door that may not have opened if you didn't start the NOSA at SUNY, at that time. And I'm so glad that you brought your past about going to your first NOA convention, and you talk about how you felt welcome. It was when I can think about as a student, going as a student, NOSA, we went to the NOA convention and saw so many beautiful brown and black male and female doctors of optometry there at the convention, and they did make us feel welcome. It was a vibe that it's hard to always put it in words, but you just know that you are happy and you are proud to see Black doctors gathered together in one place like that, represented. It gave you hope, that you too could finish the course that you started in optometry school and become a doctor of optometry. So I
Right.
can relate to that feeling there. And I'm so glad that you shared about your history there as well.
Right.
I'm
Like,
sure that there's more that you would like to add on as you started that NOSA there at the school there. Is there more that you would like to expand upon what happened after that?
well, just like you said, what was good is you saw all these optometry students across the nation and doctors from across the nation, and they said, "Well, they did it. I can do it." And I have somebody to speak to, and I also have a guide now. And those students I met in Houston, Texas, at that 1983 convention are my friends today. So every time I go to a convention, and we're not a convention, we're thinking of each other. We can call each other,
Wow.
talk, we meet up. It's fantastic. And I look back, the one of the first students that I met, who was a bubble of energy. He's the immediate past president, Dr. Larry Jones.
Oh, wow.
You
Look
know,
at that. Dr.
and,
Larry Jones, the young looking Dr. Larry Jones.
oh yeah, back then he could used to do a backflip. He can't do that anymore. But I met like I said, but we're still friends now from when we were students back then, and there's so many like that stories. Like, I met these people as students in 1983, and we're now giving back to the organization, taking leadership roles.
That's good.
We were students now, but like I said, he was the past president. Another one, Dr. Mark also, he's the president-elect, he'll be the president. Dr. Sean Hobbs, he's vice president. So we have people that will step up and take over to ensure that the future of the NOA is strong. And these people I
Yeah.
saw as strong students, and they're going to be, and they're strong doctors, and they're committed to making this work for us and for the future generation, that what we got out of it, we're making sure that the next group has it. It's extremely important for us.
I
It's our turn.
That's right. That's right. And I love it. And I love how you are talking about those who are stepping up as leaders. Kind of think of it like a mentorship, because you guys are giving back. You're helping others along the way. You're moving into these roles to help advance the organization from where it started back in 1969, Richmond, Virginia, with our great founder. I just want to take this moment to pay tribute to our two founders there, and because a lot of people watching may not know what the National Optometric Association is all about. We do want to ask you to go to the website, where there's history there for you to have as well. But just to recognize and say their names, if you would, the founders, the founding fathers for the National Optometric Association.
Well, our founding fathers is Dr. C. Clayton Powell and Dr. John Howlett. C. Clayton Powell from Atlanta, Georgia, and Dr. John Howlett from Richmond, Virginia. Two powerful men who were determined to make this happen, and they did. So in 1969, this came about. Dr. Powell was the first president of the founders, and he had the longest tenure of all presidents of 5 years, from 1969 to 1974. That was the longest term. And we talk about inspiration and mentoring. He graduated in 1952 from ICO, used to be called Chicago, which is now Illinois College of Optometry. And he was inspired by a Black optometrist, the first Black optometrist out of Ohio, Dr. H.E. Welton. And so that shows even this great person he had a mentor, somebody he was looking up to. It's like, if he did it, I can do it. And so that Dr. Walton in itself, by being a role model, spurred this organization, because now you have somebody saying, look, I can be like him.
Right.
And Howell now speaks to Howlett, who are schoolmates, are getting together saying, yes, let's do this and let's more of us, not just let there be more of us.
And I know you got history. I want to put a pin right there where you are, because it's important what you just said. The organization, the birth of this organization kind of leads off from someone mentoring one of our founders, Dr. C. Clayton Powell. You know, so it's important, those of you who may be listening, to speak positive words over the lives of our young people, to support them, to nurture them, to provide whatever financial support you can to them, because you never know where it's going to lead that young person in life. You know, they can become the founder of a nationally recognized organization. I just wanted to emphasize that because it's important. Every day we're passing young people. Sometimes we say something to them, sometimes we don't. But when they come into our office, I'm always trying to speak positive words over them. I'm always trying to say our future leaders, you know, or talk with them about their interests and things of that sort, you know, because we never know the impact we have on lives, you know, the lives that we could touch from the words that come from our mouth there, you know. I'm Mr. Positivity on social media. Everybody know that. So I'm always telling people to spread positive vibes, spread positive words. Your words can help build someone, or your words can tear someone down. So I just want to throw that out there. I felt that in my spirit to encourage someone who's watching to be careful and make sure that we are building people with our words there. You can continue, Dr. Barnes. Sorry about that.
Well, going on to that mentorship that you mentioned from the NOA, I was able to meet my mentor close to me in the Northeast region, and that was the second president of the NOA. His term, then after that, was 1 year term for a president, and that's Dr. James Washington. He was in East Orange, New Jersey. And Dr. Washington is responsible for the consummation of the NOF, the National Optometric Foundation. It started with him. And that was, the NOF was put together by him to assist the NOA with recruiting minority students and retaining them. So Dr. Washington, like I said, he used to come to the school and he introduced himself to us, but we met first through NOA.
Wow.
And so now Dr. Washington comes to my graduation. Dr. Washington comes to my wedding. Dr. Washington invites me to his house. I'm over his house for Christmas. At Dr. Washington's house, I learned about a job opportunity. Wow. So, you know, so he's mentoring me. He's there, and he also offers something to me. He says, well, you know, if you can't find a job, you know where you have a home. You can always come where he is. And so, you know, there's an opportunity there for you automatically. So it's less anxiety on that part too. Like I do have an option, and not everybody gets that option, and he's offering that. So I gained a new friend through the NOA that was close by, and he was there all the time. Like I said, he was at my graduation, was at my wife's graduation, was Dr. Tanya Carter, was a year after me. He was there. He was at our graduation, our wedding, and he was always, I called him, I said, I want you to come and speak to the students. He's there to speak. So that was a great part of mentoring for me, totally. And Dr. Howlett, one of the founding fathers with Dr. Powell, he was actually the third president, and again with a 1 year term. And they didn't start to a 2 year term, which we have now, until they got to the seventh president, Dr. Marshall, in like 79, 81, who is our executive director now. And so he's been doing this for a long time. And when in 1983, when I was in Houston, Texas, Dr. Robert Johnson of Chicago was just handing over the reins to Dr. Clayton Hicks of Ohio. And so that was my introduction to two presidents there. So that was in 1983. 10 years later, in 1993, I became a board member. I graduated in 1986. I became the secretary on the board of the NOA under Dr. Terry Ingraham, who was there from 93 to 95. And like I said, my wife, Dr. Tanya Carter, was on the board, and Dr. Larry Jones, the immediate past president, was on that board as well. So we've been doing it for a long time and felt the need to support the organization that we felt so strongly about, and still doing it now. My journey with the NOA, I was being that trustee, the secretary, and then I became Region 1 trustee, and then being persuaded by Dr. Powell and Dr. Linda Johnson. She was the 16th president from Mississippi. She encouraged me, after being the Region 1 trustee and secretary, to move more involved in the organization. She said, okay, now you can be the vice president. Now you can be the president-elect. So she was there mentoring me to be more involved. And I appreciate it. And she had confidence in me. So that was the other part. Sometimes you want to do something, but you say, can I do this? Because like I said, when I first came in, I looked at these guys as giants. And I'm like, how can I step in their shoes? I didn't feel like a giant. And so, but I remember, I'm not sure the year, but Dr. Powell said, Frank, are you with me? And he said that to me, are you with me? And I said, yes, I'm with you. And I'm going to do whatever I can to be with you. And he mentioned I used to thought it was just me. He spoke to me, and I think Dr. Jones and a few others, about being nice to your wife. He gave you not just optometry advice, he gave you other things too, which was great. So you can talk on the personal levels with them as well. But I heard Dr. Powell and I heard Dr. Linda Johnson tell me, be more involved. It's your turn. Step up. And so I did. And I was fortunate in 2019, we celebrated our 50th anniversary of the NOA in Atlanta, Georgia. And that was, unfortunately, that was the last time we had Dr. Powell at the convention. But I was so happy that at that particular time, they chose me as the optometrist of the year for the work I was doing in NOA. And I was so happy that I was able to receive that in front of Dr. Powell, that he was there to witness that I was doing some work and I was going to continue to do the work for him. And so that was a special moment for me in 2019. So one of the focuses that the NOA has is the recruitment of students. And one of our strongest thing is the NOF is doing is our HBCU initiative. It's Visioning the Future, mentoring program, working with the HBCUs. And I want to strengthen that in my administration. And we're going to have a talk about this on Thursday, because the National Optometric Leaders Conference that I'm going to be having on Thursday, NOA is the host. And as we need to increase our Black students getting into optometry school, retaining and graduating. And we also need to increase those students' mass so that we can have them practicing in the community. We need them doing residency and practicing in the colleges of optometry, becoming faculty. And we need them also going into administration. And we need them at the table making decisions and showing the Black students in the Black community, in the Black optometrists, that we can do it and how to do it. But it's also for our Anglo-Saxon and other people to show that we can do it also, and let them see it. So if they don't see us, they don't have the aptitude in their mind to know what we can do. And so if they don't see you there, they think you can't do it based on American history. So it's important that we increase our students' body so that we can increase our optometry graduates that are going into community and going into teaching optometry, part of our faculty and our administration. We have a couple of deans that I can think of, but I don't know if there's any more, but Dr. Melvin Shipp in Ohio, he was there, and we have now in St. Louis, but we should be able to say a lot more. And at SUNY College of Optometry, Dr. Tanya Carter, she was, before I was there was no Black optometrist on the faculty or in the clinic. There was a Black ophthalmologist, Dr. Paul Owens. And then, and a lot of times, the Black optometrists, if they are faculty, we went to see them at the main campus where the students take classes, where they take clinics, where they're going to see them. A lot of times, our Black optometrists are put on satellite clinics, health clinics outside of the main campus, so only a few students see them. And the interaction is not just for the Black students, but it's for the non-Blacks as well, that they experience a qualified Black optometrist in leadership roles as students, faculty, and administration. It's good for everyone so that we can understand what we can do and how we can get along and do things together. So that's very important. So that's one of my push is to make sure we not only increase our student body, but also our faculty and administrations as well. And one of the things that came up is, we have a couple of setbacks, let's say with the Supreme Court, with affirmative action, and other things, the anti-Black legislation and stuff like that. We, now it's, if we can't say affirmative action, that's fine. There's other ways to do things. And one of the things is, I know here, me at SUNY, they have school affiliations. So SUNY has an affiliation with its college here in New Jersey, NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. And they say these kids that come out of high school and they decide they want to go to optometry school and their grades are doing well, we'll have them in a 7-year program. They can go to NJIT and they're automatically into SUNY once they, if they keep up their grades, do a certain amount of service. And I had a young lady here. She's an Asian young lady, worked with me, did great things, and went on to SUNY. And I said, well, if they can do that at NJIT, they can also do that at an HBCU. And that's what we need now to establish, is that we have these relationships with these colleges. We want the HBCUs to have pre-optometry programs, and we want to get them exposed and have agreements with college optometry like they do any other college to draw out the best of health-minded students to get into optometry. Let them know there's a choice. There's medical school, there's dental school, there's podiatry school, there's all kind of stuff, and there is optometry school, that they can be an optometric physician and provide eye care to their community and their family, their friends, so that that is an option for them. Not everybody wants to go to medical school. And I want to say that we put in several students, one of my mentees through my office, going on to SUNY College of Optometry. They've gone on to Pennsylvania College of Optometry, New England College of Optometry. So we've had a lot of my students, mentees here that worked and then went on to those schools. And so we see it happen, and we feel very proud about it. We had some relationship with them. And we also see students, one of my students, where I'll be going to her graduation in June, she loved optometry, but she also decided to go to medical school. I'm all for her going to medical school. I want to continue her education as far as she wants to go, wherever it is. And that's my job for my community. And she decided to go to medical school, and then she's going to be an ophthalmologist. She just got her residency notice, and she contacted us first and let us know. and invite us to her graduation. We'll be going out to Ohio to her graduation and get a medical degree. And when she did her talks, and she wants to mention her inspirations, and she wants to mention Dr. Barnes and Carl, but this optometrist, you know, at medical school, they don't want her to say that. They don't want her to mention that optometrists inspired her to become an ophthalmologist. But, you know, we look at it as we want to inspire all our youth to become whatever they can be. And I happen to be an optometrist, so I'm wanting them to look into that as well as an alternate. But we want them to progress and do whatever they can, the best they can, and we want to support them. I had one of my patients today, we talked about finance and the financial sector. And I said, well, these are the networks I know and who you can talk to and how you can reach out. And, you know, he left with a smile on his face. We didn't talk about optometry. We talked about his career goals and how I could assist him. And that's what it's all about. That's how I feel. And I want to congratulate the NOF with the Vision of the Future. We're doing very well with that. And we need it. We're going to keep growing it and taking it to the next level of working with HBCUs and increasing our minority students. Because, you know, a lot of times they were saying, well, they don't know how to find Blacks that are qualified. Well, we have HBCUs. They're not hard to find. I think there's 107 of them. And there's some that are more well-known than others. They have, you know, names that we are familiar with, but they're there, and we just have to connect with them and work with them and let them know the options for their guidance counselors and the students there to say there's different options, and optometry is one of them. And I can say that there's, you know, it's a good profession. You can make a good living. You can enjoy what you're doing, and you can be impactful to your community, and you can be a service to somebody to help them see well, help them learn and educate well because they're seeing properly. In my office, we do vision therapy for eye coordination, binocularity, and accommodative in facility. We do that. We do low vision, as you mentioned. I'm a low vision specialist. So I work with visually impaired people that go from students who are in college to seniors trying to maintain their independence. So we cover it all, and there's a lot of different joys that you get from each thing that you do. We treat eye diseases. We do more than just a pair of glasses or contact lenses, but even that, giving somebody a pair of glasses and contact lenses that they can see well and perform well because their vision is well is gratifying as well. So all of that is good. So I welcome all to come. And as you mentioned, the NOA has this convention coming up July 10th through the 14th in downtown Philadelphia. We're having it at the Marriott. We'd love everyone to show up. And we back in Chicago, that was our second convention of the NOA, I guess 1971. And it was in Chicago, and they also took a trip. And we used to do this we did things that were socially fun too. So we did education, networking, and there was some social fun as well. And I think they said back then they went to a Sammy Davis Jr. concert. But I remember we were in Cancun with Aldo Mujeres. There's been cruises, there's been Bahamas. We had different things that we enjoyed ourselves too, our company and our friendship in different locations too, where it's a lot of work, but a lot of play too. And we made it a fun time for families. And that's one of the things I wanted to make sure I re-stress. And so at this convention, we're going to have an art auction, and we're going to have art to display our culture, and that we can bid on artwork from different artists that display our culture. And so that's one of the things I'm bringing to the convention. And also we're going to have a performer. His name is Carl Brister. He will sing for us, perform for us, bringing our culture to the main stage and have some enjoyment as well while we're there networking, enhancing our relationships and learning more from each other. So I'm looking forward to that.
Dr. Barnes, I am excited. I'm over here just smiling big, especially as you got to the end talking about the things that you are bringing under your tenure for the NOA convention, family oriented, fun, learning together, because that's what I see the NOA as an organization, a family oriented organization. I felt many times as a student when I would go to the convention, it was like a big family reunion. And then as I became a member of the NOA and I would go back as a doctor, other students, I could hear them saying that after they come, to one of the dinners or to one of the events that was at the convention, they felt like it was family, like everyone was there, happy for them, happy to see them, which we are. We're very happy to see the students. Students, if you're watching this, come to the convention. It will open your eyes to a lot of things about your career, your journey as an optometrist, as a student, seeing other optometrists who look like you that made it. They're successful. They're doing great work in the community. It's such an inspiration to go to the convention there. So I want to encourage the students who are listening, register, get to the convention. If you're having trouble getting there, there are resources to help you get there. Don't be shy. Reach out to us. Reach out to me as part of the foundation there. If we see where you're trying to get there, you want to be there, we're going to do what we can to make sure that you're there because we know that when you're there once, you'll want to go again. I can think about all of the conventions, like you were naming out some. We had, San Francisco, we was out in Puerto Rico. One time they came right in my neck of the woods here in Charleston, South Carolina. They was out in Hilton Head. Fun times every time at the convention. I keep saying, you, sir, are Black history, an optometrist inspiring a student to go to medical school. That's outstanding. Even if they can't say it in their statement when they're giving out who inspired me and everything, you had a touch on that student's life there. And I commend you for that. Congratulations to you also for, 2019, when you did receive your Optometrist of the Year award, from the NOA. And, Dr. Powell was there. I was there, and that was my last time taking a picture with him. And I got his book and everything. My wife and I, we were there and we got to talk with Dr. Powell. He's always been a person that's easy to talk to. Got a lot of history to share, a lot of wisdom to share, and he's just a great man all around there, him. And so I'm very thankful for our founders, him and Dr. Howlett there, for birthing the NOA, because from the NOA, so many of us came together under that umbrella, and now we're out in different states impacting lives all around there, So as you also shared, you shared a lot of great nuggets there. So I just want to touch upon some things. Our being more visible, you're talking about that. We need to be visible, like you said, if that tech school, you say NJIT, if they can do it, yes, if they can do it, there are some HBCUs that can do a pre-optometry program and gear our future leaders up for optometry school, getting them ready. There wasn't a pre-optometry outline at Lander University, where my wife and I attended as undergrads. And we had to create that program so that students coming after us, if they were interested in optometry, they knew what courses they had to take in order to get accepted into optometry school. Making sure you didn't forget organic chemistry, molecular biology, those courses are required, and don't want you to, be majoring in something, but interested in optometry, and then you're delayed and get into optometry school. So that pre-optometry program, we just need to work on it. I think you making that one of your initiatives to increase our activities as it comes to the HBCU initiative, I think that's going to push in the right direction there. So we support you for that as well. There is, 107 HBCUs out there. So we got a lot of room for growth. Got a lot of room for growth. It's all about just, taking that step and doing it. Like you said, be more involved, step up, and make it happen there. So that's great information that you shared there. And I didn't know that you all did vision therapy as well. We do that at the office as well. We have a lot of children that we see at the office there. My wife does vision therapy at the office with them, so that's good. And it's good to hear that you're doing low vision as well too. So,
Yes. It's a good point. I'm glad to see about you starting the pre-optometry program at the undergrad. And that's one of the things is to let them know, because a lot of the students, I let them know, you got to know what the prerequisites are. What do you,
right,
where are you heading? So you're not shooting in the dark. What courses
right,
you need to take and what courses you don't need to take. And
right,
so that's important. And you don't have to, your major doesn't make or break you. Like you can be an art major and still go to
right,
medical school or optometry school, anything, as long as you take the prerequisites and you do well in it. And so I didn't have to be a chemistry major. I was, but I have other friends who are other majors who are in the health field doing very well, but they did the requirements. And I try to tell them, say, well, the prerequisites, find out what the school that you're thinking of, what the prerequisites are that you can, shoot for that school and up to what is optometry. And I try to tell them that. And the prerequisite for New Inco is different from SUNY. When I got out, I had a full scholarship to New England. When I got to SUNY, they said, well, you didn't take general psychology, statistics, or abnormal psychology. So I didn't take any psychology courses. And they said, well, we'd love to admit you, but if you finish those 3 courses by the end of the summer for admissions, then we'll take you in. So I did, but
wow,
but if I would have known that ahead of time, I would have done that ahead of time.
right, exactly.
So
And those are things, as you mentioned, that we could, try to help establish at some of our HBCUs, making sure that if there are students interested in a career as an optometrist, that they know some of the requirements, to get into optometry school, narrowing it down to which optometry school they may be interested in, and then finding out what those requirements are for acceptance there, because you don't want to do all of that work having your mind set in a certain direction only to have a roadblock, a temporary roadblock, and you having to go back and do some work that's required for you to get into optometry school there as well. So that's good. I do want to mention, Dr. Barnes, as the president of the NOA, just again, some people listening may not know all about the NOA there, advancing the visual health of minority populations there. You spoke on minority recruitment. We also talk about assisting optometric organizations and assisting the new grads there and assisting some of the optometrists there. Um, some of the other initiatives that the NOA stand behind there, if you want to highlight them, I'm talking about the 3 silent killers,
well,
or
yes.
the Achieve campaign, and the scholarships that the NOA, the NOFA, the NOF give annually to students there. If you want to just highlight those things as we're coming near the end of the webinar.
Yes, that's the 3 silent killers is a campaign we have to educate our community. It's preventable vision loss caused by glaucoma, the 3 glaucoma, diabetes, and hypertension. Those are the 3 silent killers. And unfortunately, I see a lot of that in my office. A lot of that is diabetes, glaucoma, and hypertension is prevalent in our communities. It's lifestyle and diet related, and some is genetics too. So, but some things can be controlled. And if they're caught early, you can be affected less by it. And so the NOA has said, well, this is prevalent in our community. Let's make it a priority for us to educate our community and try to prevent vision loss that's happening in our community as one of our goals. And so that's what we're doing. We try to educate on that. And part of the thing what you mentioned earlier is that we do serve where you go. So we wherever our convention is, we pick a community area facility that the optometrists, the doctors, and the students. So this is an NOA, NOSA thing, which is backed by our philanthropic arm, NOF, that we do service to eye examinations and supply glasses to a community in need. And Vision Service Plan, VSP, they help provide the glasses for while we're doing a service to the community for free. That's a big step, a big thank you going out to VSP for what they're trying, what they have done and they're trying to do is to support optometry and support the community and help with these, what we're trying to do. But that's a big one is our three silent killers, the glaucoma, diabetes, and hypertension that we're trying to help our communities avoid being visually impaired or blind from those things that are preventable by treatment, early treatment and prevention. NOA, with NOF, we give out a lot of scholarships, a lot of money to our students to help assist them with the cost of education throughout the optometry school. We have a lot of sponsors that who have been who have joined in us with giving scholarships to students annually, and we give out a lot of money to them for that. And we have so many scholarships that we have like 2 nights of banquets of scholarship that we give out. One on Friday.
And we give out, I think over the course of years, it's over $750,000 in scholarships, man. That's a lot of financial support that has been given out to so many students and students who are currently doctors. Myself, I was a recipient of one of the scholarships that the NOA provided. When I worked with Walmart on a corporate level, I gave scholarships to students there. I presented scholarships to them on stage. I was a voice behind the walls, you know, in Walmart, increasing the funds so that our students can have that support in optometry school, you know. So I'm thankful for being able to do that. And I'm thankful that the NOA and the NOF exists to be that support for our future leaders. You know, it's like you talked about, your mentor gave you some light, gave you wisdom, and you know, your mentor was there for your graduation, your significant dates in life there, you know. And that's what it's all about, you know, lifting as we climb, lifting others up. And I think that's what doctors under the umbrella of the NOA continue to do for students, for their community, for their patients. And you, sir, our Black history, our president of the NOA example here, you're doing a fabulous job. You've done a fabulous job in that role as a mentor to others there. So I want to give you your congrats while I can, and make sure that I encourage you to continue to do that. And as you see yourself leaving a role, you know, be that mentor to someone else so that they can fill that position there. Because when you leave a role, you leave a big empty spot. So, you know, you need to help someone else come along and continue to do the great things that you're doing in the community there as well. And I appreciate you for sharing such a rich journey, history. You starting as a student, let me just see here. You starting as a student, you know, establishing the NOSA at SUNY, moving on to being mentored into the secretary of the board there, Regional 1 trustee, vice president. You got pushed on to president-elect, and now here, president of the NOA. And we're proud of you. We congratulate you. We're excited to share with you all the great things that's been planned for July when we're in the city of brotherly love there at the convention at the Marriott downtown. And I'm excited. You know, I'm going to continue to talk about it, share it. I'm going to mention it on all of our next webinars coming after there so that we can encourage as many doctors and students who want to be there, have your face in the place.
Yes. And let everyone know, especially all the students, you can walk up to the doctors. You can walk up definitely to me anytime and ask me a question, introduce yourself to me. I'll give you a business card. We can talk right then. We can talk later. Whenever, and that's me, and all the doctors in a way are open to conversate with you and give you an answer to your questions or help you find the answers to your questions. where that's the family. That's what we're all about.
Absolutely. And Dr. Barnes, if someone local or someone watching this wanted to come see you, come see your wife for their care, for vision therapy, low vision, for an eye exam, tell us how they can find you all there and be able to have your services there.
Okay. Also, if they're looking for a job,
Yes, looking for a
they're
job.
looking for a job.
We're hiring
Yeah,
too. Yes.
we're hiring. Come to New Jersey, Montclair. You know. So I'm at 321 Orange Road in Montclair, New Jersey. Um, my phone number is 973-744-6466. My website is www.barnesandcarter.com. The name of my office, it used to be Doctors Barnes and Carter, is now BNC Eye Care Group. We have moved next door and we've brought in another doctor who I met as a NOSA student at the Philadelphia convention. He went to PCO, is Dr. Jonathan Stevens. And so we met as students, and I always was impressed with him. I said, that's a bright young man. I want to stay in touch with him. So from students to now, he's in the office. We're working together. And with this all through the NOA. And so, and he was a professor at PCO at SUNY and at St. Louis. And, we just sat down like we're talking now and say, what we need to do to help the students feel when they're at the school more comfortable, because they have to go on externships, and a lot of the externships, the facilities don't have African American facilitators. Who's in charge? So I convinced them, let's do this. So right now we're trying to work on being an externship site here, like my brother Dr. Ansel in Illinois.
Yes.
Johnson,
he's doing great work.
Yeah, he's doing good stuff. And I like I said, I can call him up and say, tell me how to do this, what you're doing, this and that. And it's easy, talking. And that's one degree, these relationships that you get with the NOA is tremendous. I can call Dr. Paula Newsom in North Carolina, or we all met in Savannah, Georgia for Dr. Allison Risco's 60th birthday party. And, it's and that was from the NOA, these relationships, and it helps with our private business and management issues. It helps with social. We talk about families, and we talk about our business and how to improve it. And so a lot of these things are it stems from NOA, but you have to be a part of it, and you have to open up your mouth and say something to somebody, and want everybody to know we're here to listen. We're here to talk with you. We're here to listen, and we're here to help you. And we learn from you too.
Exactly.
We learn from the students. We learn from the young doctors, and we incorporate it to us, and hopefully make it better for everyone. So please drop by and speak out your concerns. We'll try to work those out, and any suggestions to improve the organization, we're open for that too, because I won't be here forever. So we want you to step up and be the next president of the NOA as well.
Right. Wow. Powerful. The NOA, a strong network of Black optometrists there. As you said, you can go to the convention. Optometrists are there for you to talk to, get business advice. I can just remember my wife and I, when we were in Florida last year at the NOA convention, we were sitting down just talking to Dr. Merritt about some things for improving how we operate, in the office. And she was sharing some things that she needed advice on as well. So, it's just a great opportunity. Students, if you come to the NOA convention, you can walk up to the doctors. You just heard it from the NOA president. You can talk. Got business cards, They're willing and ready to network, talk, guide you along your journey as an optometrist there as well. So don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Come on by and talk to the optometrist while you're there at the convention. We're going to be in Philadelphia, July, downtown at the Marriott, the city of brotherly love there. Dr. Barnes, if you have any closing words of inspiration that you would like to share, I want to give you the opportunity to be able to do that before I close out the show. But I also want to tell you that it has been a pleasure listening to you share the NOA history during Black History Month and also your history, your journey as a Black optometrist, becoming the great president. And I say the great because you have not finished yet. So there's some wonderful things that you're going to do that's going to give you that extra title as the great president of the NOA. I said it here first, folks, the great president of the NOA.
I'm living up to that. Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that we had this moment. I'm glad you thought of me to do this, and I feel special to have taken out the time to spend some time with you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. You're always welcome back in the future. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you in person again, July of 2024 in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Have a good one.
10th through the 14th. We want everybody there.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, listening to another episode of Protecting the Vision. As you just heard from our great president of the NOA, Dr. Frank Barnes Jr., as he shared some history, his history as an optometry student up to an optometrist and as the president of the NOA. And also as he shared about the rich history that the NOA has. Founded in 1969, our great founders, Dr. C. Clayton Powell and Dr. John Howlett. We're so thankful for those who blazed that trail, who opened the doors so that opportunities could be there for other Black and brown bodies who want to become an optometrist. And the NOF stands side by side with the NOA as a financial support arm in various ways. So go check out our website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com. You'll learn a lot about us, who we are, the officers, what we do. There are photos on there showing our work out in the community as well. We also have a Facebook page, National Optometric Foundation. You can also watch some of the webinars that we have, and we are on YouTube, our YouTube channel, National Optometric Foundation as well. If you like to contribute, as our great donors and sponsors have done in the past, and they continue to do, we do have a cash app that you can send $5, $10, $15, $20, $100 to tonight, $ Protecting the Vision. We appreciate any amount, small, large, we accept them all. Thank you so much. The National Optometric Foundation is a nonprofit organization. We will continue to support the National Optometric Association in various ways. We'll continue to support students who are thinking about going to optometry school, who are currently in optometry school. We will continue to support the communities, educating the communities, being there alongside with our sponsors like VSP, doing eye exams, serve where you go, eye exams, eyeglasses during the times that we are gathering for the National Optometric Association convention. If you would like more information about what we do, please send us a message. Go to our website, send us a message, and we'll be glad to return your message at our earliest convenience. My name is Dr. Timothy Brown, Treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation, and it's been my pleasure to bring you another great episode on our webinar, Protecting the Vision. I look forward to seeing you all next month, third Monday, 7 p.m., with another doctor on sharing information with the public. Have a great evening, and thank you all.